Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bunch Nuts podcast. I'm Dan. I'm here with Big Cass. It was an absolute domination by Ohio State this weekend. This game was never in doubt. And Cass, I'm just going to leave you with a stat. Ohio State rushing yards, 237. Michigan State, 7. I think that kind of tells you the whole story right there. But never in doubt. From the get-go, Stroud drives him down pretty quickly. Touchdown to Marvin Harrison.
They scored before the Guardians scored.
They did. That is a fact. Which was a great game, by the way. That was a fun game watching that too. And then, he throws a pick six. I think we're all a little concerned. We're like, oh God, that's the break, baby. And then just, answers immediately to Ibuka. And then from there, the offense just rolled. Basically, close to a perfect game. Not quite. 21 for 26, a pick six, 97.9 QBR, but he lit up the Spartans.
I mean, that interception was just a miscommunication between him and Emeka Ibuka, and he comes right back at it, throws it on the opposite side of the field. But yeah, CJ Stroud was phenomenal. Of course, he was going to be a phenomenal against one of the worst pass defenses in the country, but that's okay.
They're so bad.
You got to have games like that. And Stroud, I mean, it's not even close. So he's probably going to run away with the Heisman this year if he continues to play like he is. He's the full front flavor. But he's the favorite. He's the favorite to win the Heisman, and he'll probably walk away with the Heisman Trophy at the end of the year if he continues to play at the will.
So I have the updated Heisman odds. CJ Stroud is minus 140. The next closest person, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, and this was updated October 11th at almost
Yesterday.
10 o'clock at night. Yeah,
or
almost 10 o'clock at night. Caleb Williams is second, plus 1,000. Bryce Young and Hendon Hooker are plus 1,400. That's crazy that Bryce Young's still that high. I don't think he's deserving of that being that high. But
if he comes out and if he starts this weekend against Tennessee, comes out and wins that game, they'll catapult him. They will, because that's how people are. They're stupid.
I like to give a shout out to the Zach Smith, the Menace of Sports podcast, Zach Smith and Chris Drew. They said the funniest thing, just that Bryce Young is going to be higher on game day than a Bob Baffert horse at the Kentucky Derby. And that's the truth though. If you think they're going to play that other kid, you're kidding.
Or a true freshman.
Yeah, zero shot. I mean, Bryce Young's absolutely playing that game, in my opinion.
I agree with what Zach said, though. What happened? What Chris asked Zach, what happens if he gets hit and tackled on that shoulder?
He's gonna be so drugged up. He's probably not even gonna feel it. It's gonna be. I think what's gonna be more of an issue is like structurally, like how's the inflammation impact him? Because I feel like if you're just like that hyped up on stuff and with all the adrenaline, you're not gonna really feel anything. I think but like the question is like the execution. Like, is that shoulder gonna hold up when he throws? That's my biggest thing.
I don't think it's going to. The way I saw it in that video, it looked like Braxton Miller.
It was ugly. It was
very ugly.
Yeah, it was ugly. And this isn't the Alabama Tennessee show, but we just wanted to note that. But back to obviously back on track with the Spartans. They're just like, they are really bad. Yeah. I can't believe how bad they are. Ever since the game last year where we just absolutely took their man card, their manhood, it's been that program has basically almost taken a nosedive, it feels like.
Yeah, sort of. We've dominated them since 2018.
Yeah.
We dominated 19. Games haven't been close, and it's sad. What Mark D'Antonio built, and now Mel Tucker's a good coach. He's a great coach. But you can't always rely on the transfer portal and expect players to come right out the gate and develop. And these players haven't developed right out of the transfer portal. And the problem is he's at Michigan State. He's going to make $9.5 million. He can't out-recruit Jim Harbaugh. He can't out-recruit Ryan Day. He can't out-recruit James Franklin, and that's a problem.
I was listening to 97.1 Morning Juice, also a great show. We're just giving free promotion out here today.
Good promotion.
And they brought up a great point. If you're Mel Tucker, first call you're making this offseason, the Toledo kid, Daquan Finn, like not even that far from you. Like that's got to be your number one recruit. And I know you're saying they can't use the transfer portal, but that's the number one guy you got to go get. And then you got to go recruit some DBs if you're Mel Tucker. And
they have been.
They got to develop and recruit more.
They've got to get a good DB coach.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I think Travion Henderson this past week had a gutsy performance. You could tell he was not 100%. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. That dude was not 100%.
He wasn't. And it was great to see him, get some touches. Dallin Hayden, though, a nice performance, 70 yards. He got, over 10 touches. I think it was like 13, 14. I'm feeling more comfortable that we're developing Hayden at least behind him. And running back, it's probably one of the most brutal positions in all of sports because when you get the rock, you got 11 guys trying to hit your teeth in. And Mayan's injured, Travion's a little banged up, but before the game, I kind of like how they're kind of going about this. I think they're really trying to load manage Mayan and Travion because they realize, I think in November, we're going to need that 1-2 combo when the games get cold. So why not have, Mayan pop off one week, Travion the next, keep them healthy. It's almost like, and I feel like it almost is almost like a highlight clip that Ryan Day can present to recruits. It's like, you just come into the system, you're going to get 100 yards on a touchdown. Easy.
Yeah. And I think Xavier Johnson being that Swiss Army knife this past weekend,
I liked it.
Kind of using that Evan Spencer type thing. Say, hey, I could do this thing, and I could carry the rock if needed and stuff like that. I think the offense like the offensive line is just what's creating all this. They're creating everything for Stroud and the running backs. It's been amazing to watch this offensive line develop.
Yeah, and we had a lot of questions, I think, about the interior of the line, and they can obviously still improve, in my opinion. But it's the interior line has played very well. I feel like we're always getting pushes. Running the ball, I've never really felt like we're not running the ball well, and I've never felt like we're jump making false starts, getting a lot of penalties. For the most part, the line's playing very clean. Now, some of the defenses we played haven't been, the greatest. I think the Notre Dame game was that was the best defense we'll see. But I mean, I feel like we were pushing them around once we started running the ball and figured out, we could, give our backs, touches.
The way we've won this year has been amazing. We've won where, hey, Rutgers and Notre Dame, we won. Hey, we're struggling with the pass. We're going to pound the rock. I mean, it's just a week by week. We're getting better week by week. And it's amazing that there's still room for this offense to grow. And that's what's amazing. Defensively, whew. This defense, Tommy, has anybody started digging Tommy Eichenberg's tree yet? If not, I'm about to go there myself and start playing a hole.
Go dig your hole. You're gonna be the Shia LaBeouf. I'll be zero.
That dude, if he's not making a tackle, he's right there. He is right there. Like every week, I keep raving about how good Eichenberg is getting. He's getting better every week. And then you had Still Chambers, who's getting good. These linebackers, all Big Ten linebackers, it's amazing to watch this defense, especially the pressure that this defensive line is getting on the quarterbacks and in the run game.
It's also, I want to say, Chip Trayanum had a couple tackles. I think he had like 3. I think he was the 4th leading tackler on the team. He's had about 11 tackles this year, and he really hasn't played much at linebacker.
He also played the whole third and fourth quarter. So. Sorry for yawning, folks.
But for the most part, he hasn't played a ton. Who else didn't play a ton was Michael Hall, and he had almost like 2.5, I guess 3 sacks if you want to round up, and 10 snaps. That's absurd.
Yeah,
That's absurd.
Zach Harrison is playing the best football we've seen him play.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like he's not getting the stat line, and that's my bone to pick with a lot of people. We're going to evaluate this season here in a little bit, but halfway through the season. But there's a lot of bones I want to pick with a bunch of Buckeye fans that don't know what they're talking about, don't know what they're watching.
Yeah,
But Zach Harrison is having a fantastic season.
It's crazy too that you bring that up because like when you watch the film, he absolutely is having an amazing season. And then his stat line, it's only 8 tackles, 1 pass deflection, no sacks, 1 forced fumble. I feel like the statistician messed up. That's not.
Yeah.
There's no way that's accurate because everyone
But
else
it
is putting up. Yeah, it's. I mean, he's like a glue guy though. It's like he's probably, I would say, besides obviously Eichenberg.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me a tall version of BB Landers.
Interesting.
That's because Robert Landers created a lot of havoc.
That's what Zach
Harrison. That's what Zach Harrison's doing, is creating a lot of havoc. I mean, the thing that, and I think that's why Steel Chambers and Eichenberg are getting a lot of these tackles, is Harrison, Tu Maloau, Michael Hall Jr., Jack Sawyer. They're creating double teams.
Yeah, if you create double teams and open up the gaps for the linebackers to shoot, it's game over. It really is
game over. The only glaring weakness, I think, obviously for this defense, our safeties are phenomenal. Like Hickman, McAllister, Jordan, Lathan Ransom.
Ransom had a pick.
Proctor. Those 4 guys that we rotated at safety, fabulous.
Yeah.
Now, Cam Brown, J.K. Johnson, Zaire Brown, Denzel Burke. Can we learn how to play on the ball?
And
the coverage is there. The coverage is there.
And it's funny because I was literally, I know every Ohio State outlet has talked about this play on the ball this week, but it's the truth. Like I was watching the game and we were at Top Golf and crushing some beers, watching the game. And, I was a little buzzed, but being a former safety myself, I think I'm pretty qualified to talk about this. They don't play the ball in the air, like high point the ball, turn your head. And I was like, it's right there. You're absolutely right. Like they're running with the guy, turn your head, make a play. They need to have that ball hawk mentality. It's something so coachable. It's like, go make a play. Cause there's honestly no reason some of these guys shouldn't have 3, 4 picks already. It's insane.
It is insane. And that's the thing, but that's the thing with Jim Knowles' defense. These guys are on islands. I wonder if it's psychological in their head. Like, hey, I don't want to make this mistake. I don't want to give up the big play because, by the way, Ohio State's top 10 in the country of giving up big plays because they don't give up big plays. They haven't given up many big plays all year.
I can live with giving up a big play here or there. It's better than last year because last year it was literally just like, here's 6 yards a clip, here's 7 yards a clip, here's 8 yards on the ground, or some stupid tight end over the middle, like stuff that was just like a slow bleed out stinks. At least just if you're gonna score, just do it immediately in my book because we can answer at least.
Yeah, but I think that's the problem. They don't want to give up the big play, and they're they're playing on the ball too early, which is caught as a PIs, or B, they're not playing at the ball at all. And by the way, Cam Brown got called for 2 PIs. One of them was Bush League. Both guys were shoving each other. How do you throw a flag for pass interference when both guys are shoving each other? Just let them play.
They're always going to usually give the benefit of the doubt to the receiver. And I don't agree with that. But it's just,
they shouldn't.
It's just the way that is. But I mean, with this defense, I do think it's almost and this is a crazy take. I think it's more complementary for our offense because how explosive we are. I think it's like you analytically might be better to give up a touchdown on like the first or second play, like just instead of a slow little bleed out where they're driving down the field, taking minutes off the clock. Cause that means that's more time in our offense's hands, which is a strength. So I think and that's crazy to say. They get a big play, once every 3 or 4 drives for a touchdown. Okay, that's probably better than them holding the ball for a 7-8 minute drive and scoring, and that's basically almost a quarter where Stroud doesn't have the ball.
Yeah, but I also think too, this defense has created a lot of 3 and outs.
They have, yeah.
So
and that's why that's good. It's complimentary.
Yeah. So it's been a good defense, I think, so far. Actually,
it's demoralizing too if you're going 3 and out on offense.
I mean, I'm ready to evaluate this season. I mean, we already talked about we steamrolled Michigan State. We're 6-0. We're number 2 in the country in the AP, number 3 in the coaches poll. Big Cass's AP poll, Big Cass's poll, they're number 1. The only poll that matters in my eyes. But let's evaluate this football team. we're already on the defensive side. Let's talk about this defense. We'll talk about DBs. DBs as a group, I have to give a B, although I do believe the safeties are like the nerdy kids in math class. They're saying, come on, guys, to the corners. Because the corners are a C and the safeties are an A.
That's a fair comparison. Corners are absolutely I would say a C, honestly. C minus. I'm gonna be pretty brutally honest. They have not been good. Even the younger guys who have, I think, opportunities to overstep, Burke and Cam Brown. No one has really run away with.
No, they've
played
up. They've played well, but they haven't separated themselves.
No, they haven't, and it's they got to develop. The safeties B+, I would say.
The good thing about this is, besides Ohio State, every team that we have a chance to play, their wide receivers are average.
Yeah,
that's the glory thing about this.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So I would say like safeties B+, DB, like corners C-. So what's a B+ plus a C-?
A B or C+. B-, C+.
B-, I think. C-, B+. Yeah, I think that's a B- total.
All right, linebackers. I'm A+. I mean,
yeah.
There's no.
No complaints.
Even when Chip Trainum and Cody Simon come in, they come in and play very well. Steele Chambers and
having Cody Simon so nice because like God forbid Steele or Eichenberg go down, like he is our 3rd leading tackler, I believe.
Yeah, our linebackers are leading tacklers. So, defensive line, I will go okay. Defensive line, there's been some moments where I'll be like, all right, guys, come on. I'm giving them an A- just because everyone's playing well, but maybe a couple here and there. And I feel like there's times where, okay, we got like the Toledo game, the quarterback's insane. I'm giving it an A- just because there's been a couple games where it's like, was the D-line sleepwalking this, or you know what I mean? So I'm going to give them an A- just because I feel like there's some plays during the game. It's like they could go all out and they don't. You know what I mean?
I will give them an A. There's not the sack production.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that's and that's the dumbest stat I know.
And the thing is, if you look at quarterback hurries, if there was an actual percentage, I bet Ohio State would be one of the top of the country because quarterbacks are getting the ball out so fast against the defense. Special teams.
Punting's an A+.
Jesse Mirko, A+.
Absolutely.
Ruggles. I can't give Ruggles. He doesn't have enough. Ruggles does not have enough production to give him a grade.
Well, he did. Didn't he miss a kick against Notre Dame?
He did. But how many field goal attempts has he had? Like 4?
Not a ton.
I'm going to give him an I for incomplete.
That's a fair one. Not applicable just yet.
He's been great on PATs, but he's only taken a few attempts because this offense is so good. So good in the red zone. They got the best scoring offense in the red zone in the nation.
Let me pull up his kicking stats. That's a great question.
I'm giving him an eye.
He's 2 for 3 on field goals.
Yeah, I can't give him a grade.
He's 41 for 41 on extra points. So, I mean, his longest. That's actually kind of concerning. His longest field goal this year is 25 yards, and that's not on him. That's just like he missed the one from 30 in the 39 yard range. It really doesn't concern me because it's Noah Ruggles and he's a great kicker. Like he could have won. He should have won the Lou Groza, I think, last year. But you know, I would like to see him get some live reps where he's kicking 40-yard field goals, because God forbid we might need that in some of these games down the road if we want to win a national championship.
All right. Punt return, I'll give it a B because we had a couple fumbles.
It's crazy because if they don't get called for that Mickey Mouse holding or that penalty against Arkansas State, we'd be saying A. Because that was a touchdown. So yeah, B. I would say B. I think we're gonna break one though. We're due, man. It's gonna happen.
Yep. Kickoff return. Teams don't score much on us.
I would say C. We've muffed it a couple times. And then I forgot, someone pointed out a stat. I want to say Zach Smith podcast again, but it's our average starting position is like worse this year. And it basically they ran the analysis and it has to be the returners. And like I love Chip. It's funny that we're putting him back there returning kicks. I love that we're trying that. Try to get our boy like Chip involved, but like it just might not work. It just like we might just have to put Emeka back there in the big games because I know I trust him. And other than he did muff that punt against Rutgers actually. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know who I trust, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I think special teams as a whole, B+. B+.
I'm going to say B.
B. Offense.
A+.
A+.
My biggest complaint is like, oh, where's JSN? But
which, by the way, we're supposed to get him back next week.
We'll see about that.
I think this is what we should do with him. I bring him back slowly, see how he does. See how he does taking a couple hits, running some routes. And if the game gets out of hand, bench him because you're going to need him against Penn State.
I say we just run the wild card with him like Xavier Johnson now. Imagine what would teams do if we just came out with JSN in the wild card after like he's been hurt.
They just throw him out the swing passes and he takes houses one on the first play. That'd be fantastic.
I mean, that is a wrinkle in the Ryan Day offense now, kind of like we saw it with Xavier Johnson.
Yeah.
So who says Ibuka can't do it or JSN?
Yeah. So some little updates here and there. Basketball is getting ready to start here in a couple weeks. Yay. Big Ten Media Day was there. Justice Sewing was there. I can't wait to be so disappointed in March.
Oh man, I'm not. My body's not ready for this, bro.
I'm ready. I'm just continue to drag for football. Big noon kickoffs. It sounded like the big noon game is going to be in Columbus for the Iowa, but
makes sense.
I have inside source. We don't know if it's going to be Gus or Joel or big noon kickoff itself, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be. I'm pretty sure it's going to big noon kickoff. If they were at Bloomington for Indiana, Michigan, they're going to beat Ohio State for Iowa, Ohio State, SoCo.
Yeah.
So
I mean that would make sense. Ohio State's due for a big noon kickoff. Would they're going
to get 2 in a row. They're going to get 2 in a row. They're going to get probably next week, and then they're going to get Penn State, Iowa.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That means when I go to Evanston, it's going to be a 3:30 kickoff.
Which is it's gonna be nice because when you're crossing that time zone, you're gonna get that hour back too. It's really like you gotta get there for like 4. I'm telling you, that extra hour is gonna be nice. Like you're gonna be able to leave around probably like 9 a.m. Get there with plenty of time, have time to eat, get to your seats.
Yeah. By the way, I called Northwestern, getting it say, hey, where's Ohio State's family? Where they said oh, you're section 134. Obviously, you have to go through Ohio State. Well, I wasn't about to go through Ohio State, get tickets in those sections because Ohio State will probably jack those up.
100%.
So
wouldn't expect anything
I
less.
asked them, I was like, okay, what side of the stadium is the visitors bench on? Lady puts me on hold for 10 minutes. How do you not know what side of the stadium is the visitors if you're working for the ticket office? It was some young girl, probably an intern that doesn't love her job, was probably in the middle of Psychology 102, taught by Pat Fitzgerald.
It's interesting that you actually called into the ticket. Like you didn't use StubHub or
go look at Ryan Field's seating chart and tell me that any of them Google Images or StubHub or anything like that, it doesn't say visitors or home on the sidelines.
Ryan, I'm pulling up right now. By the way, the rendering of that Northwestern's potential new stadium where they downsize it by like 10,000 people and they put like a little roof over it. Sick. Really cool.
Gotta put a team on it.
Ryan Field seating chart. I don't think it does show it, Cass. I'm looking right now.
No, it doesn't.
Oh wait, this one might. This one has to. Bench.
It just says bench. That's all it says is bench. So we bought tickets in 105 because found out that's where the visiting side is. We're 27 rows up. Not too bad.
Oh, I found it right here, actually.
Where did you find it?
Ticket IQ blog. All right. So yeah, home side is sections 135 through 123. Visitors side is 101 to 115.
I wonder why Ohio State sits in 134 and 135. Locker room, probably.
Yes. Gate V. So I think that's where we come out of the tunnel.
Okay, cool.
That's looks like that's like the equivalent of. Try to explain it in like the shoe terms. The tunnel, but like the visitors tunnel where the Paul Brown
29A.
Yeah, where the Paul Brown thing is, and it says Paul Brown. It has like all this stuff.
29A.
Like yeah, that's the equivalent.
Okay. Yeah, but we're in 105, like 15-yard line, something like that.
Good seats.
Yeah. All right. College football this week has a great schedule. Typically, Ohio State bye week, it always seemed like there was never any good games. This year, this week is loaded with good games.
I feel like we got all the bad games out of the way last week. Like, I'm not gonna lie, last week, like last Saturday, college football was not a great day of college football.
Kansas TCU was a pretty good game.
That was the best game.
Yeah.
It really
I thought Texas Oklahoma was going to be a good game, but Texas boat roast them.
All the other games are blowouts.
Yeah. Prayers for Mike Hart.
That was scary.
Was very scary. Guy, okay, I'm sorry. There's this Michigan fan. This is going to go to our next segue. There was this Michigan fan at work, right? I respect him because, he gives Ohio State their props, so I'll give Michigan them props, whatever. It's like one of those we respect the rivalry thing. This dude straight up told me that the reason why they played down to Indiana was because of Mike Hart this week. I was like, well, what about the other games?
What about Maryland?
I was like, these guys have started off slow all year. Well, I can't explain for that, but I know this week they started off slow because Coach Hartfeld collapse.
All right. I will
Come on.
play devil's advocate here. I feel like that is psychologically kind of
This past week, yeah. But Maryland and Iowa, explain.
no explanation.
No. But he also thinks Ohio State's going to boat race them at boat race at the end of the season. So
yeah.
he said if Ohio State just continues to get better and we don't, I was like, I gave him benefit of the doubt. I was like, dude, it's gonna be a hell of a game. It always is.
I think it's gonna be a really good game. I don't think we're gonna boat race them, but we're absolutely winning. But it's gonna be that. I mean, I think that game could honestly be one of the games of a game of the century type game.
Well,
the way it's shaping up.
Speaking of game of the century, let's start our pick'ems this week.
Okay.
Game of the century. I'm going right off the bat with it. You know where we wait to the big games for the last, but probably the game of the century for the Tennessee Volunteers. They got Alabama coming into town. I'm trying to bring up the spread, but for some reason, my phone wants to be a douche and not load these games. But Alabama, Tennessee in Neyland. Unknowns Bryce Young's going to play. Should be a great game.
Bama is a 7-point favorite.
Regardless, I think this could be the Volunteers' time to upset them, but I don't think they're going to upset Bama. But I will take Tennessee with the points. It's going to be a field goal game, but I have Bama breaking all those Volunteers' hearts.
Yeah. I don't like the spread here. I hate this spread. This is really I would just be if I'm like betting wise, I would just take Alabama money line. I think that's probably the safest bet.
Are you taking Bama?
I mean, can I find out what they're giving Bryce Young? Can I find out first?
No.
Give me Tennessee. Tennessee +7.
Tennessee +7.
A home dog. You gotta.
I did. I still have Bama winning. All right, you get to pick the next one.
Oh, big noon kickoff. Penn State, Michigan, another great game. Michigan is a 7-point favorite.
Give me Penn State. I think Penn State covers or may win, but give me Penn State +7.
I'm going to say I also want to say Penn State because I think their DBs are so good. It's going to cause problems for Michigan throwing the football, believe it or not. And not that Michigan was lighting anyone on fire ever, but I think that's going to be hard for them to really attack downfield. So they're going to be one-dimensional. And then if Sean Clifford can just kind of
manage it,
luck himself into it, it comes down to Clifford. It really does.
And hopefully the freshman,
the running back.
Yeah. Hold
Ford.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hate to marry you here, Cass, but yeah, give me Penn State +7.
All right. TCU.
Oh
Oklahoma.
my God. There's the loudest thunder. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
TCU, Oklahoma. Oklahoma State. I'm sorry.
This is a big one too. There's a
Where's this game at?
That should be in Dallas, Fort Worth or whatever. TCU.
TCU.
Fort Worth. ABC. Carmen just came and visited me. She heard the thunder. It's okay, Carmen.
I got TCU. I like TCU. I don't know what the money line is.
I'm gonna take Oklahoma State here.
What's the money line?
The spread here is TCU -4. I'm gonna go Oklahoma State +4. They have TCU's offense is really good. Don't get me wrong, But like Oklahoma State's offense is always respectable, and then like their defense, I think Oklahoma State is a little better. They still got like it's like the remnants of Jim Knowles.
All righty.
Oh, all right. I got this one. The people thought College Game Day might have been going here because there was the account on Twitter that like the fake College Game Day accounts that like trolled and said we're on our way to Syracuse. Syracuse, NC State. This is an interesting one. Syracuse is undefeated, -3.5 favorite at home against a one-loss NC State team who played, good team. Who are you taking, Cass?
NC State.
I'm gonna go Cuse. I think because they got Cuse's identity on offense. They got that one running back, and he honestly might be a dark horse Heisman guy.
What's the money? What's the money line there? +3,
-3
for NC State.
For Syracuse.
Oh, they're the 3-point favorite.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that just Sean Tucker is unreal. Like this might be if he goes off and they're 6-0 and they beat a ranked NC State team, like Syracuse hype might get very high. Go like in the ACC too. I'm just looking ahead on their schedule.
They got to
play Clemson and Notre Dame next, and Pitt. Oh, their schedule's brutal.
Pitt's not that good.
No, this is brutal. Cass, this is brutal. I'm telling you. NC State, Clemson, Notre Dame, Pitt, Florida State, Wake Forest, Boston College. That's pretty brutal. That's a brutal second half. Like
they could finish 6-6.
Yeah, they could. They probably will.
Oh, my ESPN app's not working. I need a tiebreaker game. Oh wait, we need more games than that. We've only got 4 on our docket.
Oh, here's a big one. Late night. So many good games, Cass. USC, Utah. Utah is a 3.5-point favorite.
I like USC.
I'm taking USC +3.5. But Utah's going to somehow win this. I just know it, but I think I'm being smart and I'm going to take USC, but I'm absolutely going to regret it.
Here's the other one. The other one, UCLA, Oregon.
Let's take a look. What time is that at?
I think that, or if it's next week.
I think it's next week.
They were talking about it on the radio. Oregon and UCLA. Might be UCLA's next game is against Oregon. They might be on bye week as well. Cincinnati Bengals and Zach Taylor's play calling on the goal line versus the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. I'm just kidding, by the way.
I'm looking at this slate. This is tough because there's so many good. Oh, this is an interesting one. This one's basically a pick 'em. It's a 1.5.
We haven't done many pick 'em, so
let's I'm just going through. This is tough. There's a lot of good ones, Cass.
By the way, it's 3-3 Dodgers Padres.
All right, here's an interesting one because Georgia has not played well against like lesser opponents.
38
against Vanderbilt at home.
Is this your tiebreaker? Because I don't want to pick this one.
I don't want to pick it either, but that's something to keep your eye on.
Keep your eye on it.
Keep your eye on that one.
All right, here's one. They're coming off They're coming off a losing streak. They're wearing special uniforms. The game's at noon on ESPN2. This team that they're playing just came off a loss against TCU. Number 19, Kansas at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 9-point favorite.
I think you gotta take Kansas +9 here.
After Kansas +9.
This seems like a trap. I feel like people are gonna go with the brand here in Oklahoma, and take, they should easily beat Kansas. But like for those that kind of watched so far, um, like that Bean kid, their backup quarterback's decent. I'll take Kansas +9. And Kansas has played them tough before. And this is not a great Oklahoma team now. So this is doable for them.
All right. One more game and then we get a tiebreaker. I'll
Okay.
give you my tiebreaker right now. Minnesota at Illinois. I'm taking Minnesota 6.5. I think Minnesota is the best team in the West, but I think they're going to beat the Illini because the Illini, they are ranked. And what happens when teams get ranked for the first time in the Big Ten? They lose. So, and they looked awful against Iowa. I'm going to take Minnesota as my tiebreaker, 6.5.
My tiebreaker, I'm riding them again. It hit last week. Literally free money. Toledo at Kent State. And Toledo is a 7.5 point favorite. I know I took Kent State last week too, I believe. I believe they covered, did they? I'm pulling it up. They lost by 3 to Miami. So I think they did cover actually. Great team. So I believe both those picks covered for me. Oh no, it did not cover. They were a favorite. Yeah, no, Kent State. This is the "You're Dead to Me" bowl. So Kent State's dead to me, and give me Toledo -7.5.
Plus the Finn is bad. Like he's a bad dude.
Yeah, they're not. If you can't beat Miami, you're too. I know they play Georgia tough, which is like why I'm saying keep your eye on the Vanderbilt game. I'm not calling an upset. But like that's intriguing to me.
Yeah.
I don't think Georgia's getting up at 3:30 excited to play Vanderbilt.
I didn't even know this game was on TV. I didn't even know this was this week. Another ACC matchup. Clemson at Florida State.
Oh, that's a big one.
I like the Noles. Upset of the week. The Noles beat Clemson.
I don't think they will. I would take Clemson here, but like in a heartbreaking fashion, in a way where like Florida State's been up the majority of the game, and then Clemson steals this one. I think that's gonna happen.
And
so I'll take.
And the thing is too is it's at a spot too where like it's gonna be more than a field goal. It's gonna be like a last minute touchdown if Clemson wins.
I can see like an overtime winner.
Yeah. Dude, some guy named Brandon Peters added me on Snapchat.
It's not him.
It's not the Brandon Peters that played for Illinois. And it's weird because I just talked about Illinois. All right, we got our pick'ems. So we're different on TCU versus Oklahoma State and Florida State versus Clemson, but everything else we're the same. We haven't had one the same for a while, so
we're not trying to be like.
No, it's just we watch a lot of college football.
We do. We get it. But I mean that's all I really got for this week, Cass. It's a short week. It's the bye week, so there's not a ton going on right now, which is kind of nice in the college football world. We're just kind of sitting back. We're gonna watch some great games this weekend.
Keep your eye out on tomorrow night and Friday. Some Buckeye news.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't get no unfortunate news.
Yeah, no. We don't need another JT Barrett incident or anything like that.
Or
but like
Chase Young.
Yeah, the bye week notoriously has taketh from Ohio State. So like I'm on edge, but I think we'll be fine. I feel like something stupid would happen though. Like my biggest fear is just something so stupid happening.
No, it will not be COVID.
That would be the cherry on top of all this. This entire offense, COVID.
CJ Stroud, COVID. Kyle McCord has to take over, which I'd be scared, honestly.
How furious would you be if that happened in like the big, like a playoff game?
We'll be searching for Tommy Togiai. We found him. He's not doing well with the Browns this year. He's one of the worst graded defensive tackles in the league.
My guy, he's like, I think he's like 132nd out of 133rd ranked ones. And I was like,
he's just as bad as Zach Taylor's play calling on the goal line.
Yeah, my guy, Tommy Togiai. He'll turn around. He'll find it.
Because we haven't found him in Miami yet.
We gotta go get his soul and just bring it back up.
Do the Dolphins play the Browns this year? Because that's when we'll find Tommy Togiai.
That's coming full circle. Oh my God. Do they play the Browns? That's a great question. I feel like they have to.
Yeah, because we play the AFC East.
Commander.
They
do.
Yeah.
Yes, November 13th.
Is
in
it
Miami?
Yeah, that's the Tommy Togiai game.
In Miami.
The Tommy Togiai game, November 13th. We found it. Oh my God. Think about it. We would get so much eruption on our Twitter because 2 years ago, national championship, everybody's like, "Where's Tommy Togiai?" Oh, that's Tommy Togiai. We'll take a picture in his Browns uniform.
It was like finding Bigfoot. Like dude, I thought it was Pete Werner, but like I thought that was definitely Tommy Togiai. You can't tell me
it wasn't even Pete Werner. It was the offensive guard, that's Hawaiian offensive guard.
Oh yeah. And then I'm watching the one video and there's like the big line coach. And I'm like, is that him from behind? I think it is. We were really, I mean, I was analyzing clip by clip. I was convinced he was there. I was talking to multiple people on the inside. They're like, he made the trip. It was clearly a false flag by Ryan Day to like get Bama to think he was there. But
but guess what?
He's absolutely getting a sack that day.
He'll definitely be there November 13th unless he gets cut by the Browns.
He's absolutely gonna like score a touchdown or get a sack now. Like mark it.
He's gonna score a Mike Vrabel type touchdown.
Oh my gosh, I would lose it. I would lose it.
All right, fellas, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy for once a Buckeye bye week has some Buckeye madness when it comes to great football games. So enjoy these great college football games, starting with Penn State, Michigan, and ending the night with Tennessee, Alabama, or TCU, or Oklahoma State. So a lot of great games, man. A lot of great games.
It's early. It's like early mid-October. It's the best slate of sports of the year.
NHL
baseball,
started.
NHL baseball playoffs. The Yankees,
Guardians tomorrow night.
Yeah, big one in the Bronx. NHL too. Blue Jackets. Johnny Hockey.
4-1.
Yeah, they'll be all right. But
81 games left.
I know. But as always, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Bunch of Nuts podcast. And as always, go Bucks.
Go Bucks.